When FIFA voted to add 16 teams to the World Cup, the loudest critics in football called it dilution. They said the magic would die. They said the bracket would bloat. Fans were furious, federations were divided, and the pundit class lined up to bury it before a ball had been kicked. Then the data arrived. Goals per match across the 32-team era? 2.54. Across the 24-team era before it? 2.55. 1/100th of a goal apart. The football did not change. The bracket did. 2022 ran 29 days. 2026 runs 39. The team that reaches the final plays 8 matches instead of 7. That is 1 extra knockout, 1 extra round of physical load, and the first World Cup in history where squad depth, not the starting 11, decides the trophy. This is not the first time critics have predicted disaster. Spain 1982 expanded from 16 teams to 24. France 1998 expanded from 24 to 32. Both expansions were called dilution at the time. Neither ruined the tournament. The data shows expansions have been neutral to positive at the sharp end of the bracket. 2026 is the third leap, and the same arguments are back word for word. Stack every World Cup since the first 24-team field. Per Statista and FIFA match records, here is the full picture. 1982, 2.81. 1986, 2.54. 1990, 2.21, the lowest of its decade. 1994, 2.71. 1998, 2.67. 2002, 2.52. 2006, 2.30. 2010, 2.27. 2014, 2.67. 2018, 2.64. 2022, 2.69. Average it out, and the 24-team era ran 2.55. The 32-team era ran 2.54. The expansion kills attacking football hypothesis has no data behind it. The dip from 2002 through 2010 was a broader tactical shift toward low-block defending at the international level, a trend that reversed regardless of format. And in 2026, the structural mismatches, Germany against Curaçao, Argentina against Jordan, are expected to push the group stage average above recent norms. Now look at who actually gained slots. The story is not the percentage. The story is that UEFA, the loudest critic, still holds the largest share, 16 teams, more than any other confederation. The beneficiaries were the regions with the least historical access. Africa rose from 5 slots to 9. Asia rose from 4.5 to 8. CONCACAF rose from 3.5 to 6 once the 3 host nations are counted. South America from 4.5 to 6. And Oceania moved from a half slot to a guaranteed one, the first guaranteed Oceania berth in World Cup history. UEFA has 55 member associations. CAF has 54. Nearly equal membership, vastly unequal representation, until this expansion began to close the gap. The expansion is not a dilution of football. It is a redistribution of geography. This is what the redistribution looks like in people. For nations are about to walk into a World Cup for the first time. The largest debutant class of the modern era. Curaçao. Population 150,000. The smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup by a wide margin. FIFA ranking 82. Most of the squad play in the Dutch Eredivisie. In 2026, they sit in Group E with Germany, Ecuador, and Ivory Coast. A Caribbean island of 150,000 people will play on the biggest stage in football. Cape Verde. Population 500,000. FIFA ranking 69. Qualified from CAF Group D, beating Cameroon 1-0 along the way. The squad has a Portuguese league core with players spread across Europe and North Africa. In 2026, they are in Group H with Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia. Uzbekistan, the first Central Asian nation to qualify for a World Cup. FIFA ranking 50, the highest of the 4 debutants. 3 decades of close calls and Asian qualifying, finally over. In 2026, they meet Portugal, Colombia, and DR Congo in Group K. Jordan, 40 years of trying, ended. FIFA ranking 63. Qualified directly from AFC Round 3, second in Group B behind South Korea, sealed with a 3-0 away win in Oman. Their star is Moussa Altamari at Stade Rennais in League One. In 2026, they are in Group J with Argentina, Austria, and Algeria. Here is what has changed. 8 of the 12 third-place teams advance to the new round of 32. 8 of 12. That means a side can lose 2 of 3 matches, win one of them 1-0, and still survive with 3 points and a goal difference of -1. This is the theoretical floor, not the expected norm. It describes the minimum bar, not the average outcome. And the tiebreakers between the third-place teams are explicit. Points first, then goal difference, then goals scored, then team conduct score, the fair play tally, then FIFA World Ranking. Critics call this the welcome mat. Defenders call it overdue. History has already answered the question of whether low barrier entry produces quality. 1994, Group E in the United States. All 4 teams finished on 4 points and 0 goal difference. Italy advanced as the third-place team on goals scored. They won 3 knockout matches, Nigeria in extra time, then Spain, then Bulgaria, before losing the final to Brazil on penalties. A third-place qualifier reached the final. Senegal at the 2002 World Cup told the same story from a different door. Debutants nobody had heard of, they beat the reigning champions France in the opening match, advanced from the group, and reached the quarterfinals before a golden goal from Turkey ended the run. The bracket math does not predetermine quality. The structure is not perfect, and the honest critique comes from a peer-reviewed paper. Laszlo Csató and Andris Gyimesi, 2025, European Journal of Operational Research. The math says, with 8 of 12 thirds advancing, last match group games create incentive distortions. A team that calculates 3 points and 0 goal difference is enough can stop attacking. The paper does not just flag the problem. It proposes an alternative format using imbalanced groups that would substantially reduce dead rubber matches and require fewer total games. FIFA chose not to adopt it. The shadow of Gijón, 1982, when West Germany and Austria played out a 1-0 that suited them both, hangs over every multi-group format. FIFA's answer in 2026 is to kick off all 12 final group stage matches in simultaneous pairs. But simultaneous kickoffs address only the final match day. They do not touch match day 1 or match day 2, when teams that have already qualified early can still manage results down. Bigger isn't worse. The data says the football didn't change. What changed is what makes you a champion. A team can now lose more, draw more, score less, and still find itself in the round of 32. Italy in 1994 and Senegal in 2002 are proof that the bracket math produces depth, not dilution. The 48-team World Cup is the geography of football catching up with the geography of the world. Whether the new round of 32 becomes a graveyard for favorites or a launchpad for upsets, that question only gets answered in June and July 2026. Next on AI Football, we ranked all 12 groups by upset potential. Which group produces the tournament's biggest shock?